Olivia.
And I'm Jake.
And this is All About Animals.
Did you know that a group of rhinos is called a crash and a baby rhino is called a calf? Monado Zoo is really lucky as they just recently had a calf and its name's Digger. Female rhinos only reproduce about every 2.5 to 5 years, which is one of the reasons they are becoming endangered. Poachers are hunting them at a much faster rate than they can have babies. Baby rhinos, which are known as calves, stay with their mothers until they are about 3 years old. After that, they remain with the herd, but are pretty independent. Zoos SA is part of a larger international organisation which is trying through breeding in captivity to make sure white rhinos don't become extinct. A white rhino can grow heavier than 3,500 kilograms. That's massive! And the biggest one ever was 4,500 kilograms. That's about the same as 3 cars. The rhino horn is made of protein just like our hair and fingernails. It can go as long as 1.5 metres. That's even taller than me.
Now, like a lot of our viewers, Olivia and I have dogs and cats at home.
And we really wanted to find out more about responsible pet ownership.
First, I chatted to Belinda about cats.
And later in the show, I asked her all about dogs.
So Belinda, what sort of food would you feed a cat?
Normally a good quality dry food is best, and you can feed them a little bit of wet if you want.
Yep.
Because they eat mainly dry food, make sure you have plenty of water available for them throughout the day.
And how often do you take them to the vet?
Normally, if it's an adult cat, every 12 months.
Yep.
If you think your cat's a bit off, a little bit sick or anything like that, straight to the vet.
Okay, so how can you tell if your cat feels off?
Normally by maybe they look a little bit lethargic, or maybe their stools aren't as firm as they should be. They might have gone off of their food for a little bit. And if their coat's a little bit dull or flaky, that can also be a fact that they may have a parasite like worms, or it might be that they need a better quality dry food.
And how often do you deflea a cat?
Normally with a topical treatment, you can flea them once a month and that'll protect them. You don't have to continuously do it.
Yep.
And again, best if you actually do worm them at the same time as well, because chances are if your animal has fleas, it'll have worms as well.
And if you are going to buy a new kitten, what would you need to do?
Well, firstly putting them onto a kitten food, a proper kitten food, and feeding them probably twice a day.
Yep.
Making sure that the house is secure. And when you do introduce a new kitten, they might not be used to using a litter tray in your house. So you have to put them in a room with the cat litter and slowly open them up to the house rather than just letting them run all through the place.
So how do you entertain a cat?
Well, it's a good idea for them to have their own cat post, because cats' claws grow all the time, and if they don't actually sharpen them on the cat post, they'll use your couch to do that.
Yep.
Also, by getting them toys as well, maybe little mice or anything that's fluffy that's going to encourage them to chase, another natural behaviour for a cat. And you could also put their food into different items and hide them around the house, because then the cat will use its natural hunting behaviour, and it'll also help it keep exercised as well.
Okay. And do you need a microchip for your cat?
I would definitely recommend microchipping them. If it's an indoor cat or an outdoor cat, if it gets lost, then it's going to have permanent registration.
Well, thanks, Melinda, for talking to me today about cats.
Coming up, a horse ride with Olympic silver medalist Meghan Jones. I wonder how she got there. I'm here with Sam from the Ferret Association. So Sam, what do you do?
I'm the rescue coordinator, Olivia. So when any ferrets are found in people's backyards or on the street, I go out there and I pick them up.
So what happens once you've picked them up?
So once I've picked up a ferret, it comes back to my house. I do a bit of a check over for its health. It gets a bath, which some ferrets love, some ferrets don't like very much. They get their nails clipped and cleaned. After we clip their nails, they get their ears cleaned, and then they get placed into a cage. They have a litter tray in their cage. They have their 3 bowls, one for food, one for bickies, and one for their meat. And then they have a couple of little things to keep them entertained, like a nice lovely fluffy hammock and a big tunnel for them to run through.
So what happens to the ferrets after they've become all healthy again?
So they'll stay with me for a minimum of 4 weeks. I do write all of the details from when I've picked up the ferret in my books so that we can keep in close contact with anybody who may have lost their little friend. If no one has claimed a little friend, that's when we'll go through the process of trying to find them a new home.
So how many rescues do you do each year?
Well, I've been doing the rescuing position since February 2010. So since I've been the rescue coordinator, I've had over 95 ferrets come into me.
Wow, that's like 2 each week. And why do you need to rescue the ferrets?
Because some people find them wandering around the streets, or some people find them in their backyards, or purely because some people have bought them as pets and they don't really want to keep them anymore, so I'll take them in and look after them.
So Mark, you're from the Ferret Association. What does the Ferret Association do and how many members are there?
Okay, the South Australian Ferret Association has about 100 members on our mailing list, so with all the families involved we've got well over 200 members. And with regards to what we do, we run race events, we do show days at country shows, we have judging shows where the ferrets get judged on their appearance and their conditioning. We do social events with families. We also have our regular meetings that we do once a month.
To find out more about joining the Ferret Society in your state, head to our website at allaboutanimals.tv. Sometimes when I'm patting my cat, Jack, he's all happy and he's lying in his bed and purring really loudly. And then all of a sudden, he swipes and bites at me. Do you know why that would be?
That's an excellent question. Cats will do that for different reasons. If he's sitting there and purring and very happy with you, like this guy is at the moment, look at his tail, he's so happy. But then look, he's biting me a little bit, but you can see no blood, and that simply means that he's just playing with me. If he had his ears right back and he was going at me at the same time and really coming out with one claw, that would mean he's an unhappy cat. But mostly when he bites and grabs you, when you're playing with him, that will be him playing right back.
So Belinda, what are some of the things we need to know when we're owning a dog?
Well, I guess firstly it's really important that you choose the right breed and the right dog for you and what the needs of that dog is. And then from that you'll be able to get things that will help with looking after the dog and making sure that it's enriched and you get the most out of your relationship with the dog.
And so what's enrichment?
Enrichment means providing the dog with entertainment that it wouldn't normally get when you're not at home. So things that will encourage them to use their brain, things that you can put food in, anything that will create their natural behaviour.
So what are some examples of enrichment?
Well, Murray here, he really likes any toy that you can put food in. It takes him a while, and as you can see while we're talking, he's actually focused on the toy rather than running around or anything like that. So anything you can put food in that takes some time to get it out of, rather than just putting it into a bowl. If you put your food into your dog bowl and just walk away, that's him not working for his food, and we need to make sure that he works for his food.
An enrichment toy stuffed with treats can help dogs who get anxious when they are left at home alone. At first, it should be made easy for the dog to get the treat. Then, as your dog gets used to it, make it more challenging for him to get the treats out. You simply stuff the enrichment toy with a treat like this, and the dog works to get the rewards out while you're away. This stops him getting stressed or anxious, which hopefully stops him chewing on your things. So are there any other things we need to know?
There is making sure that they have a kennel or somewhere they can sleep and get out of the weather. If they're a short-coated dog, they might need a jacket to wear as well. I would also suggest that they get the right collar and lead, especially since Murray, he wears a front harness, which helps him stop pulling. So it's probably best if you did go into your local pet store and get them fitted, and you'll be able to get exactly what you need. Also good quality treats as well, some treats for them. You want to make sure that it's not going to interfere too much with their diet, and make sure that it doesn't give them diarrhea or anything like that. And yeah, just making sure that you have lots of toys for them as well, and give them really good obedience tips as well.
I've noticed every spring my dog's getting more fleas than usual. Is there a way to help stop this?
Yeah, absolutely. During the summer months, the fleas do breed more when the weather gets warmer. So it's best to treat them with some sort of topical treatment, maybe a liquid that goes on the back of their neck, and that will protect them against fleas for the whole month, and you can just put it on once a month. I would also suggest that you clean their bedding, give a good vacuum.
I know Murray's special, but can you tell us why?
Because he's the first assistance dog to be raised in South Australia.
Thanks, Belinda. I learnt a lot today.
You're welcome, Olivia.
To find out more about owning a dog, go to our website at allaboutanimals.tv.
Did you know that when a frog swallows food, it pulls its eyes into the roof of its mouth, and the eyes help push the food down its throat?
I love horses, so I'm really excited to meet this week's celebrity pet owner, Meghan Jones, who is an Olympic horse rider, and she's going to take me for a ride.
And walk on.
Come on.
That's it.
This horse is seriously slow. So how long ago did you start riding?
Well, I first started to ride when I was 5 years old. We decided to get a pony. It was a black pony and called Ebony. And I'm 34 now, so I've been riding a long time.
So when was your first Olympic game?
Well, actually, I went to the Olympic Games in 1996 as a groom for Wendy Schaefer, a friend of mine, and she won a gold there. And as a groom, I feed the horse and saddle it up and look after it all. So I was actually lucky enough to go and see what it was like on the inside. And we have a friend on the inside. And then when I was holding her horse for her, when she was up getting her gold medal, I thought, you know what, the next time I'm at a games, I want to have a horse for myself and be up there getting that medal. So I worked really hard and dreamt about it. We had the horses and competed, and I got my first games. I actually rode out in 2008 in Beijing, and I actually rode a horse that we bred here at our stud.
How did you feel standing up there being on the podium?
It was so exciting. It was like all my dreams had come true finally. I worked really hard and I finally got there, and I was standing there and I got that silver around my neck, and it just felt so heavy. Like, it's really heavy. You think, wow, it's actually real. Like, it's there. This is all mine. And I just felt so proud to be up there. I was proud for me, my horse, my family, my country. It was amazing. It was really amazing.
So are you hoping to go to the next Olympic game?
I really am. I definitely am. I have two horses which could be good for it. Jester, the horse I rode in Beijing, he's actually a little bit sick now, so we're just waiting for him to get better. But hopefully he will. And I have a younger horse who's called Floyd. and I'm hoping he might get me there instead. But it's a long way to go yet, still a year and a bit out, but to be there would just be incredible. Like, it'd be so exciting, so I'm really hoping I can.
So how many days a week do you train for the Olympics?
I train 6 days a week. Mondays we have off, and the horses do as well. And I normally ride from about 7 a.m. to about 1 p.m. and then after that I start coaching and teaching. So I would ride anywhere between sort of 4 and 8 horses a day. One of my favourite things though to do is on Wednesdays we take the horse to the beach and gallop them there. So it's just beautiful. You should come one day with us to the beach.
I'd love to.
Oh, it is so much fun. The sun's coming up and we're galloping along on the beach and the horse is having a good time. It's so beautiful. It's my favourite days of the week.
So what time do you have to get up to go to the beach on Wednesdays?
Really early. We leave here with the horses with their tack on at 5:30 a.m. which means waking up at about 4 o'clock to get them all in and tack them up and feed them and so they can eat first.
That's early.
That's really early. But once you get there and the sun's coming up and you're on the beach, it's worth it. It's worth every second of it. It's just beautiful.
Thanks, Megan, for sharing your exciting Olympic experience with us. And I hope I can come riding on the beach with you one day.
That'd be great, Liv. Let's go now.
Stay with us, because the dog goes to the animal dentist for a checkup and clean. Then I show you this week's viewers' pets from all around Australia.
We went to Warrawong for this week's native Australian animal.
So what we got here is a Southern Brown Bandicoot. These are a local bandicoot in South Australia and in the Mount Lofty Ranges. As you can see, this girl's very wriggly, but she's a little young joey, and she's been hand raised for the last 5 or 6 weeks, and she'll be about 15 weeks old, so she's pretty young.
So how long can they live for?
Bandicoots only live about 3 or 4 years, so they don't have the longest life, but at least they have lots of babies. So this little girl actually got thrown out of the pouch a bit too early from mum. And we fed her milk for about 4 weeks. And she's off milk now, she's getting a solid food, and we've got a few mealworms there which she loves to eat. So would you like to feed her some of them? She can smell them. She loves them. So what bandicoots do to find their food is they dig about 10 centimetre holes, and they can actually smell up to 30 centimetres down in the ground for food. They eat things like roots and tubers, and also insects and fungus as well. So you can see some of the holes that they've been practicing digging. So they're only small holes because they're very young, but when they're fully grown, they'll be about that deep.
Wow. So how big can they grow?
Bandicoots can grow up to about 30 centimetres in length. They're a very special bandicoot in South Australia because they're the last bandicoot left in the wild. And a lot of people, when they first see a bandicoot, think it is a rat. And the poor bandicoots have been mistaken for rats for hundreds of years across Australia. You can see the difference though. They have a big pointy nose and they don't have pink ears like a rat.
Yeah.
They have short tails and quite fat backs as well.
So how many are left in the wild?
Well, for Southern Brown Bandicoots, they're a vulnerable species in South Australia. So there are still a few around in kind of remnant populations where there's lots of thick vegetation to hide in. But if there's foxes and feral cats around, then they're very vulnerable.
Did you know that male polar bears grow 3 metres tall and over 630 kilograms, and in the wild they can live up to 25 years of age? I already know it's important to look after your pet's teeth, but what can the vet do that I can't do at home? Dr. Paul, Russie's here for a dental treatment. What does he need to have done today?
Well, because he's not very good at cleaning his teeth by himself with a toothbrush, we have to give him a quick anaesthetic and then we're going to clean and scale his teeth for him.
What does anaesthetic mean?
Anaesthetic just means that we're going to give him some medicine in his leg, some medication that's going to make him go to sleep so that he can't feel it when we're scaling his teeth.
Are there any risks to having anaesthetic?
Well, yes, there are. I mean, any animal or person that has an anaesthetic, there's a very, very small risk that they might have an allergic reaction to the anaesthetic, or that their heart could stop, or they could stop breathing. It's very, very uncommon. Usually anaesthetics are really, really safe.
Why does Rusty have a red bandage on his leg?
Oh, well, the red bandage is just keeping the catheter in his vein, so we've got him connected up to a drip at the moment. It's coming from here, and it's just giving him fluids for the procedure.
This is a dental suite at Roseworthy where animals get dental treatments and checkups, just like we do.
So Rusty had some dirty teeth that we had to clean. The first thing we did was give him an anaesthetic, and we put him to sleep, and then we brought him in here to the dental suite and started cleaning his teeth. The first thing we've got to do is use an ultrasonic scaler, which is a machine that uses high frequency sound waves to break all of the tartar off his teeth, a bit like human dentists use. Cleaned away all of the tartar, got his teeth nice and clean. There's a little bit of inflammation in his gums, and that caused a little bit of bleeding, but that will go away very shortly after the procedure. And the next thing we did was use some special toothpaste and something called a Prophy cup to polish all of the teeth and smooth them down to make sure that there weren't any rough surfaces left where bacteria could take hold. So cleaned all of that up, and he's now got brand spanking new clean teeth.